Our first interview tells of Vidal Barrientos, who came to Omaha with two brothers in the 1920s. They quickly became some of the South Omaha's most widely known Latin musicians.
What is your relationship with Vidal Barrientos?
He was my father.
He was my father-in-law.
What can you tell us about your father and father-in-law?
Well, he was a packing house worker, which was his main means of support for the family. He worked at the Armor Packing Company, and he did this music on the side. I do remember a lot of the different places that he used to go to entertain. There were clubs, some downtown, and house parties, baptisms, weddings, and so many different things. And then, of course, on special days like Cinco de Mayo or September 16th, they would entertain at that time, too.
And do you remember what the name of his group was called?
They just called themselves Los Hermanos Barrientos, I'm guessing, because we never knew that there was any other name.
How popular was the band with the community?
Oh, everybody liked them because they were invited to play at parties. I told you there was baptisms and different things, mostly house parties. And then they do, the celebrations, the big ones.
I would add too that both his brother and he were self-taught. They were not lyrical musicians. They just learned and played everything by ear. So it was very, very good that they knew all that.
According to Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, Los Hermanos Barrientos enjoy sharing their Latino music with other immigrants as a way of bringing everyone together. Interestingly, Los Hermanos Barrientos played their music non-profitably.
Our next interview features Marcos Mora, a popular musician in South Omaha.
I'm raised here in South Omaha. My family is originally from Aguascalientes, Mexico. They migrated here in the late 20s. Our family has been doing music here since the late 20s, so for about 85 years.
According to Marcos, he started taking music more seriously after high school.
Growing up is kind of like you're bicultural. You grow up, you're in America, but then you have this cultural background of your ancestors, where they came from. So, my mom and on my dad's side and my grandfather, we had that mariachi music and traditional Mexican music that we hear. You can also still grasp your roots of your cultural background and still hold on to that too. And that's where it's kind of nice to maintain that.
In 1990, Jim Ramirez and Rosemary Flores started the first mariachi in South Omaha called Mariachi Las Estrellitas to help kids embrace their cultural aspect of mariachi music.
Which was basically inspired the group was Alma Gutierrez. She was the one that came up with me and said, I just want to do something a little bit different, a little different level. And so that's how we came up. That's really what conformed that group to be the largest group in the history of probably Nebraska, which was 14, mariachis that came about. I think the downfall to anything is some people don't understand the sophistication of music. Some people think, I just like dance music, but there's definitely a different tone, a different level that it can be and has, that the international groups that play all across the world.
A performance highlight from Mariachi Luna y Sol occurred when they performed for the President of Mexico, Vicente Fox, and his wife.
Our last interview features Alma Gutierrez.
Born and raised here in Omaha, in South Omaha. I started with music since I was really young. I grew up with my parents listening to the music all the time, and my brother was the instructor of Mariachi Las Estrellitas. I really asked to be in the group, so at the age of 13 I started performing professionally. My role in the community, I think, is really important because Having Las Cecilias now, having them all be so young and, you know, Latinas, I think it's really important to have the youth be a part of positive things. The main focus of Las Cecilias is to basically merge traditional music and modern music together. And that's not always easy, especially because you have two different kind of crowds in that. You have the traditional Mexican crowd that likes strictly Mexican music, traditional Mexican music, and then you have, here in Omaha, an Anglo crowd that likes, you know, AC/DC or like Dixie Chicks. What makes us different is, I mean, our attire, first of all. Our attire is not traditional. We do wear the traditional traje, but for shows and, you know, especially now in the summer since it's so hot, we wear our blouses, different colored blouses, and wear our skirts. Now when people see that, they're just like, are you guys a mariachi? What do you guys do, you know? And they're a little confused because it is this modern twist on it, you know? Some people accept it, some people don't. It's just a community. They'll shut you down because you're not a traditional group, or because you're all female and you don't know traditional music, you know? And as far as mariachi, I mean, I'm always looking for new talent, and I mean, our doors are open for anybody that wants to learn.